Hi, I'm Scott Sheldon, and welcome to this episode of Winegazer. Thank you so much for tuning in. So for this episode, we're going to look at 3 Cabernet Sauvignon wines that all roll in for under $15. Yes, that's right, quote-unquote bargain cabs. So originally this episode was supposed to coincide with Cabernet Day. Under the weather, couldn't really participate. It was a couple weeks ago. And so we're just going to look at the wines here today. But for those of you who don't know what Cabernet Day, it is pretty cool. A bunch of wine geeks like us, we go online using Twitter, use this hashtag, which is the # and then Cabernet Day, all one word. And you throw that in your message, and then you do a search column where you can see all this content where everyone's using that hashtag. It's all segregated. You can all search, see what people are drinking, see where people are hanging out and what they're eating to go with their Cabernet Sauvignon on that day. So I recommend you participate in one of those, what they call varietal days, if you haven't. Good way to meet people online that are wine geeks. It's just a real nerd fest, a lot of fun. So, little background on Cabernet Sauvignon. Yes, it is the love child of Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc. Born in the 1600s in France. We saw it in California in, I think, the mid-1800s. And it's the most popular, great for making red wine in the world. And one of the things I always say is if you go in to like a wine bar, it's happy hour, they got 3 or 4 wines by the glass you've never heard of, always go for the cab. That's right. Chances are you're going to get the best quality wine out of a bunch of cheap wines from Cabernet Sauvignon. It's just, how many great $7 Pinot Noirs have you had by the bottle? You know what I'm saying? So it's just, for some reason, that grape, you really can do a lot with it. In the lower end of the quality spectrum. And trust me, these wines, I know they're not going to be like comparable to like a Silver Oak Cabernet, but in their own right, they're enjoyable. And so hopefully, out of these 3 wines, I can recommend a couple of them to you to check out, spend your hard-earned ducats on, and experience them. So with that being said, let's start with the first wine, coming down under from Fish Eye Winery. Very cool label. They've won a lot of awards, with like Impact Brand Awards for their packaging. Very eye-catching, kind of jumps off the shelf. $7 US. They've got a 2010 Cabernet Sauvignon. 13.5% alcohol. Comes from the Southeast Australia appellation. 140,000 cases produced. That's a lot of juice. So let's give this baby a pour. These wines have been open maybe a half hour. They probably should have been open longer, but it is what it is. Look at the color. It's like a nice medium ruby. You can definitely see light coming through it. It's not totally dense or anything. Get some air into this. Never had any wines from Fish Eye Winery, so it was a pleasure to try a new wine here when we're filming an episode from a winery that we've never experienced. It's pretty cool. So let's give it a smell. So you got like this kind of baked berry muffin thing going on. You kind of got like this baked buttery bread mingling with like some blackberries, blueberry, kind of dark fruit in a kind of baked way. What's going on? Not like fresh fruit, but kind of baked, a little bit jammy. Yeah, nice notes of black pepper. Not bad. There's no screaming oak on this. It's probably just seeing a little bit of oak chips, whatever they use in $7 wines these days. Let's give it another smell. There's some nice cherry fruit too. Nothing too extraordinary on the nose, but pleasant, nothing foul or off-putting. So it's always a good sign, right? Let's give it a taste. So kind of low to medium acidity. You know, really no tannins to really speak of. Very, 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 not really there. Get some nice fruit flavors. You know, kind of darker fruits, blueberries, blackberries, like dark cherries, that kind of thing. Kind of black currants. Well, like I said, there's nothing extraordinary about this wine, but there's really nothing off-putting about it either. I mean, it is pretty solid for a cheap wine. I would say, like, you know, pair this up at a barbecue with a bunch of friends. You know, go great with like a bacon cheeseburger. I mean, you'd really have a great time with this wine. So, you know, I'm going 2 out of 5 stars, and you know, to me that is good. That is a good, solid wine. It's not great. It's not extraordinary. It's just a good, solid wine with no big flaws, and 2 stars. So, good start to the show. Let's do a little rinse here. Okay, so the next wine we have here, coming from Big House Wines, we got a 2010 Cabernet Sauvignon. It's actually 90% Cabernet Sauvignon, 10% Grenache. $13% alcohol, rolls in at $10, and 30,000 cases produced. And it's the California appellation, which basically means the fruit can come from anywhere, from the most northern tip to the most southern tip, right to the ocean to right to the, you know, eastern border of California. Anywhere in the entire state, it can be just a mishmash of grapes, Cabernet Sauvignon, but anywhere in the state. So give this a little pour. So Georgetta Dane, they call her the warden over there at Big House. You know, Big House Wines, they got their name because they're just like a stone's throw away from the correctional facility, the clink, the big house, the slammer, if you will, over in Soledad. And so, yes, they affectionately call her the warden. So basically, again, I should point out this label, again, extraordinary packaging. Let's see, really fun and interesting. You know, Big House, they were actually, from what I understand, the first winery in California to go 100% screw top enclosures with their whole line of wines that are, you know, 750 milliliter. And I should also point out this, you know, for parties and stuff, Big House Wines and also the Fisheye, you can get them in the 3 liter, like a big cardboard barrel, you know, with the bag inside, and you know, the wine's supposed to last for 6 weeks like that. Haven't really tested that myself, but that could be something to look at a future episode to see, you know, how these things really hold the wine. I'd be curious to know. So I'll show you a little peek at this. Again, these wines aren't that dark in color. You know, you can see through them. Not purple, definitely reddish in color. Get some air into this one. So again, it's really mainly about fruit. Here you're getting like this really bright, like red cherry fruits that are popping out of the glass. They're really wonderful. Oh, you got a little bit of leather. Okay, that's good, right? Yeah, and some raspberries. So, you know, it's very bright, very red fruit on the nose. So let's give it a taste. Can you say fruit bomb? I knew you could. Yeah, total fruit bomb. Really great, tasty red fruits on the palate. Again, dominated by cherries and raspberries. Kind of candified, if you will. You know, kind of like a hard candy, like a Jolly Rancher. You know, that kind of thing is what you're getting. And, you know, us wine geeks, we like to call it candified, meaning it's, you know, kind of a fake fruit kind of thing that's going on. A very sweet wine, and you can tell there's no new oak on this wine. It is all neutral. It's really just a little bit of, you know, spices in the background from the oak, which is, you know, it's all about the fruit. This is fruit forward wine, totally. And, you know, this is great wine for somebody who's really like turned off by, you know, a lot of that new oak. Some people just don't like it. And, you know, they've kind of gotten into this style of fruit bombs and really fruit forward wine. So this is something for $10 I think you'd really enjoy. Food pairing, you know, filet mignon, lamb chops, that's where I kind of steer towards. Spaghetti bolognese, that'd be pretty tight, I think, with this wine. You know, have some fun with it. I'm going 2.5 stars. I think it's, you know, it's a step up from the fisheye, and just depending upon your palate, if you like fruit forward, kind of sweet, tasty wines. Yeah, you'd probably enjoy this wine, definitely, and great price point. So 2.5 out of 5 stars. Good stuff. All right, so let's dump this one out. Do a little rinse. Yeah, sometimes I like to use 3 separate glasses. Sometimes I just use one. I don't know. I like to, if I can, use the same glass for all, same type of glass for all 3 wines. Like, so for this one, I actually only have 2 of these. And so let's show you wine number 3. We got a 2010 Cabernet Sauvignon coming from Cupcake Vineyards. Central Coast AVA, which is a huge, I think it's the biggest AVA besides the California AVA. I mean, Central Coast is just huge. 2010, rolls in at $13 US, 13.5% alcohol, 55,000 cases produced. Adam Richardson is the winemaker, or Cupcake, and a nice label. This is a pretty big brand at Costco. I see this all the time there. First time trying one of their wines, and really Big House is the only one that I've had before. I haven't had the usual suspects Cabernet Sauvignon, but I had their Big House blend. So let's give this a pour. And so basically Cupcake, you know, they started like all California wines, and then they branched out into New Zealand and Australia and Italy, Argentina and Germany. So they got all kinds of stuff coming in now. Different types of wine, different types of fruit from all over the world. And again, it is, I think, primarily a bargain brand. I'm not familiar with their whole lineup, but most of the ones that I've seen, they're well under $20, you know, in the store. So this is kind of in between. Well, it's red. It is ruby. You got a little hint of purple, and again, not dark. You can see light through it. A little viscosity there. Let's get some air into this. So, a little bit of minerality and earthiness on this one. You didn't get any of that on the first 2 wines, so interesting. Kind of like a wet soil, kind of damp forest kind of thing. Not so much like a slate rock, but more of a, you know, green, damp earth kind of thing. Then you got some black currants. You know, you kind of expect to run across a few of those when you're dealing with Cabernet Sauvignon. Yeah, dark cherries. Besides the fruit and that kind of damp minerality, not a whole lot more going on the nose. Excuse me. Yeah, decent. We'll give it a taste. Seems a little awkward to me. We got some kind of weird sourness that's kind of hitting you right in the beginning. It's kind of lingering, and it's definitely staying in the aftertaste. I'm not really. It's kind of like a bitter apple peel kind of thing. I don't know if you ever if you certain types of apples, when you eat them, their peels can be very bitter, a little off-putting, and that's really what I'm picking up on the palate with this wine. Maybe need some food to go with it. I don't know. Let's give it another taste. Yeah, you got some decent fruit happening there, but it's just a little awkward, a little disjointed. It's the sourness that's kind of meandering through the palate. I'm just not really feeling it. I don't know. I think I'm going to go 1.5 stars. I'm sorry. I just I just call them like I see it. And I'm just not feeling this wine. Let me give it one more sip. Maybe I'm missing something. Yeah, I'm going 1.5 stars. Just not a big fan of the cupcake. So I don't know. I say that out of all of these, I would probably for you fruit bombers out there, the usual suspects from Big House Wines. It's definitely for $10 worth checking out. You're gonna have a party, a bunch of people coming over to watch football, or just have a barbecue, or watch your favorite show on TV with your friends. I don't know. This fish eyes, for the price, it's really, come on, it's nothing extraordinary. We're not going to sit back and intellectualize about it and talk about what's all these great things that are happening in the glass. No, it's just a pleasant, easy drinking wine. And so, again, at the price point, I would definitely recommend it for $8 a bottle. So I hope, maybe you'll go out and try one of these. I don't know. Maybe you could get something out of it. Check them out online. We fisheyewines.com, bighousewine.com, and cupcakevineyards.com. And this is a little note on food pairing with Cabernet. People get pretty hung up on the whole red meat thing, steaks and burgers, which they don't get me wrong, they go great. Stinky blue cheeses, creamy cheeses, all do really well. I like hard cheeses like Parmigiano Reggiano. It's my favorite actually to go with Cabernet. Game birds, duck, pheasant, that kind of stuff. Lamb goes really well. But what's interesting is when you're cooking, there's some herbs that really go fantastically well with Cabernet Sauvignon. And you want to think thyme, you want to think rosemary, and you want to think mint. Those are all extraordinarily great herbs to pair up when you're cooking foods that you're going to pair with Cabernet Sauvignon. And of course, don't forget the black pepper. So, excuse me. So I hope you enjoyed the show, and till next time, cheers. Thanks for tuning in.